Welcome back to Bleach, Anime Review Episode 25. Yeah, I'm glad the fact this one's back. It's been 6 months since I last did the last review. Of course, that was the end of Cur 1. Now we're on Cur 2 of this season. I have heard there's going to be one more after this one, and then that's going to be pretty much it. This episode pretty much covers basically the rest of chapter 542, pages 15 and 17. Chapters 543 to 546 fully. And I had the changes because I did notice this basically when I looked at the chapter. They did adapt the opening page of chapter 547 for this very episode. I'm sure the rest is probably that for next week. And of course, the first 4 pages of chapter 565. Now, here's how they adapted it. That's why that was really weird. Now, the opening minute of the episode is from these 4 pages from 565. Mostly put, it's how Yarich was conceived. That's literally what the scene is. It is one of the most weirdest scenes I've ever seen, with hands, and I hope that I do not get video taken down for this. They had sperm in the episode. Yes, sperm. And this is what created Yarich, and that was it. Now, in the chapters was a flashback. Yes, I do not know why the heck, basically, that studio para thought me that, like, you basically, now, by the way, this was resumed just last month. And that's your opening scene, a conceiving scene? What the heck, Parrot? And this scene is longer than it was a freaking manga. Also, Muji's hands. Like, what is this? This is one of the most strangest things I've ever seen. And then we cut to Ichigo. By the way, his outfit, he's now sleeveless. Yes, he is sleeveless now. Do not know the explanation for that. He's also got rid of a little X thing he had on him. I think that's been removed for, maybe he's not in Bankai mode. That's probably the reason why. Where he says, thank you for the training. He needed to leave. The guy basically, what is his name? He's one of the Spirit Zeros. Excuse me, is Tobi Ishibi Habayashi. Yeah. It's like, okay, like, you think you're ready yet? No, you're not. So, then of course Ichigo takes off the top of his cloak for some reason. I'm sure probably any female fans probably love this scene, see Ichigo's abs. I'm sure they must have loved that. He sets down his Zanpakuto toes, because it's a 2-part one, and then he's given a wooden sword to begin his training. And then now this whole thing is completely unoriginal because I think it's mostly was on off screen, so we have him basically going through this, and that's last see Ichigo the whole episode. This one brief scene. A lot of this episode focus on the Quincy's, like a lot in the Quincy's. Before I get some, let's talk about others. We have Orihime and Chad, where they're in Wakamunda with Urahara, where they're going to some training with the Iran cars. Orihime's hoping that might lead to a battle. And that's it for that one. Meanwhile, though, we do see the new captain of Squad 1. I think it's the former captain of Squad 8. If I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember his name here. Sensui. Yes, he is now the new captain of Squad. We see him in front of in front of the barracks for Squad 1. So basically, he proceeds to, well, then we see him after this brief scene. We see him later on with 3 of Ichigo's friends. Tatsuki, Keigo, and Muzuru. Which, of course, this is actually a change from the manga. Yes, because in the manga, they were just walking on the street. In the anime, they're walking on steps. Yep, this actually is a change. Which, I don't mind this at all. This makes more sense doing on a stairwell when no one can see them, compared to the middle of the street. This actually was a really good change. The Wikisite didn't note this at all, but I note this. And of course, they chat for a bit about possibly each one to come back. And of course, Century giving the three of them Soul Society passes. Basically, a lot of this Ichigo when the crisis is over. Basically, it was emergency, stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, here's a fun fact about this scene. The chapter this is from. This I thought was quite strange, though. This was someone told me this. I didn't know this when the manga was coming out because I read it long after this came out. Apparently, the manga went hiatus after this chapter for a whole month. The reason why? Because Taichiku made a visit to Germany for this month to do research. Yeah, seriously. That's the reason why the manga was put on hold for a whole month. Because he went on vacation. Well, a research trip. Yep, that was simply the reason for it. I thought it was quite weird. It was after this point of the manga they actually decided to do this. Now, I know this was somebody who I was spoken to a few years because I don't know what happened to him. He just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened to him. I have spoken to him in about 4 years, like 3 or 4 years. Actually, it's been about 4 years, and I spoke like 4 years. It was because basically we have falling out. That was not the issue. It just lost contact with him. I do not know what happened to him. All I know is he's basically from Texas. My friend of mine basically mentions the comic shop he goes to. Aside from that, has spoken to him a while. He basically mentioned stuff to me about Bleach. Because we chat about Bleach and what he says from relationship with Bleach, Naruto. Fun stuff with this one. I really enjoyed it. Oh, don't want to talk about Quincy's last. Let's see. Oh, there's something with the Vizards. Yes, they make a return. And I did hear about this ahead of time. One of them have been replaced. Yes, Hidori. Yes, for some strange reason, they replaced her dub actress. And like, what? Yeah, seriously. They replaced her dub actress. She's on her third one. And unlike in the case of the guy who was voicing Chad, at least he had a comment about it, a very bad comment, this makes no frickin' sense at all. Because first is Mel Lee for the episode 112 to 205, and replaced by Laura Bailey. And then for some strange reason, this was actually nowhere on Twitter, just a couple, I didn't know about this until this episode came out, is that Hidori's dub actress has been replaced by someone by the name of Andreas Quintatis. Yes, somebody with a Spanish name. I do not know who... Oh, okay, so she's a voice of... Okay, so we have a woman who was the voice of the rabbit from My Hero Academia. It seems quite weird, though, the fact that she be the one chosen for this character. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, and it's just so odd. I would love to know the reason why this woman was replaced. Because I had no problem with Laura Bailey. I thought she did a great job. And yet, oh, by the way, not only they changed her dub actress, they changed the look of this scene. Yes. How was it changed? Well, they changed how the warehouse looked. Because the Vizards, when they first showed up, they actually were based out of this warehouse that had suffered damage over the years. That was the base operations. And surprisingly, Hidori did not receive a change. Well, visually, she looks exactly the same. Like, despite the fact there was a 16-month, 17-month time skip, she looks exactly the same. Like, same outfit. So she gets a call from So Sweet. Yes, she gets a call from So Sweet. From Senji. Yeah, call from him. Which makes his first appearance in this particular set of episodes. Yes, and... Oh, by the way, he was also replaced too. Yes. Because the original dub actor for him was Roger Craig Smith. Currently, it's Alex Lee, who is the voice of Zenosuke from Demon Slayer. Yes, I would love to know the reason why Viz Media decided to replace half the freaking cast for this series. Like, Chad was a big one. I do not know. Like he says, oh, because he had to match ethnicity with the character. Hattori, like, it doesn't freaking matter what ethnicity their voice actress is. Like, here's the thing: we love who voices them. Do we care what the skin color is? No. Anime fans do not care about that at all. All they care about is how good a performer they are. So the previous actor for Chad basically was, in my honest opinion, being an utter moron. Yes, so Hidori's contacted to fix something related between the Soul Society and the world of living. And, like, they have Love, that's his name, Love. He's like on this, like, in the manga, he's on top of some rubble, and in the anime, he's like on the second floor of this place. And they're volunteering to clean up the mess. Now, that's all of the other characters in this episode. A good chunk of this episode is focused on the Stern Turn, the main base operations for the Quincy's, where we have a meeting of the Quincy's, and here's Yalreach, the main bad guy of this arc, which, by the way, he is basically, this arc was his debut, and he is one of those characters who, he's a new character. Here's the thing. When he was first, when I first saw this character and I read his dialogue, there were two actors. I could easily see them casting to voice this character. Bryan Cranston, I think he would have been perfect for this character. The other would have been Steve Bloom. But I think Doug Ersart is doing a great job voicing the guy anyway. So, he shows up, chats a bit, introduces that he has someone else. He has an announcement, and here comes Ururu, a guy who's an episode in the last few episodes. He's introduced, and he's named as Yari's successor. Now, we are introduced to several other characters. They're not named this episode, but here they are. There's a guy with a mask, with a star. He is a Stern Reader S masculine. A guy with like a mask on, basically like a night mask. That's Stern Reader KBG9. There is a guy who looks like an emo guy. Stern Reader guy Kong 2. There's a guy with a mohawk who actually was a set by, basically, Ururu being chosen. This is Stern Reader Baz B. Oh, and they changed this scene too from the manga. Because in the manga, they're walking in the hallway. In the anime, they're just like, this happens like right after one of the members basically just, like, she's so mad, takes a guy who thinks she's hot, and then she kills him in her room. All because she's basically mad. Yeah, but we have others. Oh, don't worry. The leader, now, here's the thing. This is how I look in the manga. In the anime, he just walked to a fucking door. This is Stern Reader B. Jogram Hotswalt. Yeah, that's what we got here. Now, if you're curious about the other Quincy's. Excuse me. Where are you? Now, there's also some female Quincy's in this scene, too. Let's see if I can find them here. There is, let's see. There is, Lily Barrow. And he does not have a credit for an English dub actor. That's why this episode was his debut. Probably because, basically, I haven't got it yet. You have Gerard Valkyrie. There is also Picard. He's in hooded form. This is Perginia Pergajas. I think it's to pronounce the guy's name. There is, of course, also some of the characters who appear in the last one. There's Robert Oscar, he's actually one of the older ones. Yes. He looks like a regular guy. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, I've already got him. The other ones here are Melnis McAllen. And if you're really curious, is when I get the thing working here. Whenever I can. I really hate it when it does this. I'm trying to ID these characters, and this just doesn't want to work for me properly for some reason. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is... Okay, she is voiced by Annie Yactito. There is Candace Catnip. That's her name. And she's voiced by Shira Kirby. There is Najagoop. And he's voiced by Jenna Robinson, but he made his debut in the previous set of episodes. There's also Grammy Turmerix, who just basically a brain here. No credit English dub back yet. There is P.P. Wagdabaga. He is also voiced by Jenna Robinson. Yes, Jenna Robinson was double duty in this one. There is Lato Lampard, voiced by Carmen Lee. This is the one basically who was mad. I think so. There's also Asnoti. Yeah, she's like a ninja. I think she's one about Byakuya. She's voiced by Elijah Urfuri. And it seems like it's a woman. I mean, the way this person looks, it seems like it's a woman. It's a guy, but looks like a woman. Let's see. There's also... Oh, yeah, I think this is the one. Bambita Bushburn. She's the one... she's voiced by Andy Acho. Another one basically with WWE. There is Askin Nanlever. He's basically the D. He's voiced by Damon Miles. I have heard about this voice actor. The story about him is, and this is something I should bring up here. Apparently, he's a guy who likes to sexually harass women. No, seriously. That is what I've heard about him. And apparently he has something on some people, so that's why he's not fired by the dub studio he works for. Okay, there's also Gazelle Gawal. She's voiced by Casey Milano. Magilo. Ninzo Wazo. No credit for English dub actors yet. Alright, got that one. Marshall Harmon, who's no credit for the backer yet. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to use the bathroom. Okay, so basically these guys start arguing. Basically, B and D start fighting, and of course, actually, it's B and Buzz. Buzz and the other guy fight over. They attempt to fight because they have no idea who Ururu even is. By the way, Catnip's in the episode, now everybody's standing in the manga. In the anime, there's like this break room. They got a table and chairs, and then pretty much like they are arguing. Of course, they can't fight. And meanwhile, though, Ururu is in another room. He does question like why he's alive, why he chosen him, basically because basically power stuff. Now, I should point out though, this is another scene they made a change to. And you're thinking, was it dialogue? Nope. Placement? Nope. The setting. This is another room they changed. You see, in the book, this is a random room in the palace. In the anime, it seems like it's another dimension. That this is mysterious side throne room, where it's like in another dimension. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird. Of the changes they made so far, I think the break room is a really good idea. It's better to have a conversation, walk in the hallways, because that would not seem interesting. The break room setting, I thought that was a really cool idea. It's a way that the Stern Rikers basically can, relax and chat amongst themselves instead of, chatting in the hallway, because basically, what if the grunts basically came across them? So, then we have the episode end with Yarich, Ururu, and B, where they basically, we have this weird, the barrier around the Sarate, and it disappears. And according to Yarich, he says, the invasion is complete, and they quote the song. 900 years to receive a pulse, 90 years to receive mind, and I think it was like 9 years for strength. And he says, in 9 days, the world. And the episode ends basically saying he wants to end the world. That's how the episode ends. Great episode. Loved it. With this, okay, I'm done with this particular review. Next up is 2 comic corners, and then it's on to Martial Magic and Muscles. Okay, next video. Bye.